Alright, welcome back to TEW 2020, the new era. We are here for SmackDown Live. 2 more shows of SmackDown, including this one before the Great American Bash. Our first cross-branded pay-per-view. We got 5 things lined up, pre-booked for this match. For this show. Not all of them are matches. And, so basically what we have is Rusev's return match will be on this show. The number 1 contenders tag team triple threat for the Dudley Boyz SmackDown Tag Team Championships between American Alpha, Balor and Nakamura, and Breezango. Whoever wins that will face the Dudley Boyz at the Great American Bash. And last week, Daniel Bryan said that if the Dudley Boyz get involved, there will be consequences. So, will they get involved? Will they try to screw their rivals, Finn Balor and Shinsuke Nakamura, out of a title match? No. Possibly face those consequences. We also have Alexa Bliss versus Natalya. This was booked last week, and Alexa Bliss says she'll have a surprise for Bayley after she wins. Will she even win? Who knows? I believe Natalya has like 10 more pop than her at this point. An update on the status of Anderson and Gallows after Dean Ambrose took, I believe, both of their arms out with a chair. We're going to get an update. AJ promised an update from them, so we're getting one of those. And in our main event, we will have one more man added to the WWE Championship match at the Great American Bash. Kane wanted an opportunity. Daniel Bryan didn't want to just give it to him, but he did say that he would like to add another man to that WWE Championship match, so Kane will have a match against an unknown competitor, and the winner of that match will be added to the title match. So it'll be AJ Styles versus Dean Ambrose versus either Kane or his opponent. We don't know who it is yet, so yeah, let's just get right into the show. We open this edition of Tuesday night SmackDown Live with the GM, Daniel Bryan. He's in his office, and he's behind his desk. He's just sitting, and he says, before we get into the show tonight, I need to make this announcement. So basically, from the time in between SummerSlam and tonight, there has been this huge arms race for the Women's Championship here on SmackDown. Nikki Bella pinned the champion Sasha Banks in a tag team match. Then, a few weeks later, Paige pinned Nikki Bella. It actually happened last week. But also, Alexa Bliss was on that winning team that beat Sasha Banks and Bayley with Nikki Bella. So, and Alexa's been feuding, having issues with Bayley specifically. So the question needs to be asked, what is going to happen in 2 weeks on Sunday with this Women's Championship? What is the title match going to be? Well, it's simple. Sasha Banks will defend her title against Paige and Nikki Bella in a triple threat, and while that match is happening, Alexa Bliss and Bayley will have their own separate match to file out their grudges. Sorry, this was kind of a lame way to set this up, but I already pretty much had the match booked, and all it needed to do was finalize it, so I felt this was all that we needed to have. And our opening contest is Rusev's return match against some local worker. And before the match, just a quick little bit, Lana grabs a microphone and just yells to Zack Ryder to make sure he's watching, to watch what Rusev is going to do to him in 2 weeks at the Great American Bash. And I said that it was against a local worker. Well, that was the plan. But apparently there's only 5 fucking workers in the region I'm in. And 3 of them were women, 1 of them was the Boogeyman, and the other one was Hornswoggle. So all those people are either the wrong gender or a known person to the WWE fan base. So I just had to call up Mr. Bronson Matthews. We're just going to put him under a mask, but I didn't want to fucking bother changing his pick and possibly forgetting. So we're just pretending like I did that. Alright, this is El Luchador. I don't know, something like that. But Rusev beats this masked jobber in about 2.5 minutes, getting a 63 for the match. And after the match, Kathy Kelly's backstage to interview Zack Ryder. Kathy asks, Zach, after seeing Rusev's first match back after that intense Bulgarian training, how well do you think you'll do against him at the Great American Bash? Zack Ryder responds with, "Well, bro, the match he had was pretty impressive. But something seems fishy about this whole situation. I mean, weeks of this insane Bulgarian training and he used no new moves? I don't know about that one, bro. Maybe it's because the match was like 50 seconds, but I don't see how this match is going to be any different from our last match. And that means that the Long Island Ice Z will be triumphant once again." So Zack Ryder, he's not making any accusations, but he's suspicious of this Bulgarian training. And more to come next week. Abyss does a short little, backstage promo again. I'm not going to put the heavy picture up because I'm lazy. And the whole message is that he tells Ty Dillinger, "You want to fight? Well, let's have one. Great American Bash, Abyss versus Ty Dillinger." Basically, that's all that he says. And that's another match we got for the Great American Bash. We go to commercial, and when we come back, just a recap of the whole feud, what's been going on. Kalisto and Baron Corbin had a little bit of a scuffle a few months ago. Bullshit was happening there. Then Apollo Crews tried to help Kalisto. Kalisto told Apollo he didn't want his help. Kalisto interrupted Apollo's victory celebration to just announce that him and Baron Corbin were having a match last week. Kalisto wins that match. Apollo Crews comes out and lays out both men, very angry, and we are told that Apollo Crews will break his silence and explain his actions next week here on SmackDown. We then have our second match of the night between Sami Zayn and Curtis Axel. It goes about 5.5 minutes. Sami Zayn beats Curtis Axel. Just a match that happened. There was no story to this match other than Curtis Axel gave Sami Zayn more of a fight than anyone would think, I guess. And it got a 74. And after the match, Paul Heyman comes out. I didn't write a promo out for this one. Basically, Paul's like, "You just went 5 minutes with Curtis Axel. Do you realize what you're getting into in 2 weeks on Sunday against Brock Lesnar? You're a dead man, Sammy." So, 85 because Paul Heyman's awesome. Here we have our update on Anderson and Gallows. Neither man are on screen, and that's not looking good for AJ. AJ says, the doctor says they will be back soon, but not soon enough. Fans cheer for this. They don't want to see Anderson and Gallows get involved in the title match at the Great American Bash. But they're like, how soon is not soon enough? And AJ then clarifies this means the doctor will not allow them to appear at the Great American Bash. And AJ is devastated. Fans are not devastated. Fans are excited. They're hoping that AJ doesn't win this match because AJ's a heel. Although, 2016, a lot of hardcores, only hardcores left. So maybe they all want to see AJ win. I don't know. I wanted to see Dean Ambrose hold the title for a long time, and that didn't happen. So what do I know? We get our triple threat number one contenders match, and the match is a car crash for 7.5 minutes. Two of the teams are unimportant, so couldn't have the match go too long. And the gist of the thing, what the fuck did I just say? Gist of the thing? What happens in the match is it's very even. Breezango take out American Alpha to the finish. They low blow both of them. It's legal, but American Alpha aren't going to be happy about that. But Finn Balor then catches Fandango with a sling blade, and at this moment, both the Dudley Boys run in. They go straight for Balor and Nakamura. They almost lay them out, and then they bump into Tyler Breeze, who thinks that the fucking Dudley Boys are going after him. Breezango hits a beauty shot on one of the Dudley Boys, leading to Shinsuke Nakamura hitting a Kinshasa on the other one, and Finn Balor hitting another sling blade on both Tyler Breeze and Fandango, laying both men out. American Alpha still coddling their crotches outside. Finn Balor goes to the top rope, hits a coup de grace, and picks up the victory. So yes, the Dudley Boys ran out and attacked Balor and Nakamura, but it was unsuccessful. But that's the thing. it doesn't matter if they're unsuccessful because they still cheated. They went against what Daniel Bryan said, and Daniel Bryan was like, hey, there's going to be consequences. Despite the fact you were unsuccessful, you interfered in the number one contenders match. So, at the Great American Bash, the title match will be a no disqualification tornado tag team match. Dudley Boys are pissed. They can't cheat in this match, cheat to win, and Finn Balor and Shinsuke Nakamura will get their rematch for the tag team titles. Balor and Nakamura never held them, but Dudley Boys cheated to win to become the inaugural tag team champions. We then go to commercial. When we come back, just a minor segment here. Basically, what happened during commercial was, of course, like I said, American Alpha, we're not happy about being low-blowed by Breezango. They get into a little scuffle that's immediately shot down by the referees, but the announcers, I believe I have Michael Cole and JBL commenting SmackDown. So, the announcers tell us that next week we will finally get Breezango versus American Alpha next week to finally settle the score. This leads to our next segment where Charlotte Flair and Dana Brooke are backstage, and Dana Brooke holding her arm. Her arm is very hurt, and Charlotte is not letting her go to the doctor because she saw what happened with Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. She wants Dana Brooke there for this title match because what happened for, the foreseeable future for the Great American Bash, because what happened last time was Dana Brooke was banned from ringside and she lost the title. So Dana's like, why the hell didn't you help me? Charlotte's like, you can't just give these maniacs like Becky what they want. You can't just let her get her what she wants. She's never gonna calm down or whatever. She's basically belittling Becky and belittling Dana's injury. And she says, next week after my match against Naomi, I will clear the air. The fact that I am not in this women's title match is a damn tragedy. You can't say damn, but I'm not redoing that. And I'm going to clear the air next week and make sure that my name gets added, and we're going to have a 4-way at the Great American Bash. Then we have Alexa Bliss versus Natalya. 14 minutes, 45 seconds, a completely even match, and Alexa Bliss gets another upset. Yes, only lost one match here on the main roster, and it was against Becky Lynch, and now she's getting good upsets against some of the more over women on my roster. Alexa Bliss, I believe, is at a 52 right now, and Natalya's at like a 63, so this is definitely an upset in the eyes of the game, and basically, Alexa Bliss is improving really fast. She's 25 years old right now, and her stats are improving very fast. So, I think now would be a better time than any. Natalya's really, I know she isn't too old, but I've seen in TEW that the women superstars, or I guess not even WWE superstars, just any wrestlers, any female wrestlers, I don't know if it's programmed into the game or it was just coincidence, but it seems to me that the women superstars retire earlier, and Natalya, I believe, is in her mid-30s at this point, so I'm going to start transitioning her pop to some of the younger names, but still keeping her sort of strong. So yeah, Bliss then, nobody really knew during that match what she was referring to when she told when Alexa told Bayley to watch and she's got a present, and here was her present. After the match, she picks up Natalya, fucking mocks Bayley, hits a Bayley to belly. She beats down Natalya for a little bit, hits the Bayley to belly, and the beatdown was really less directed at Natalya and more of a scare tactic for Bayley since they are going to have a match in 2 weeks. They're going to have a match in 2 weeks, and Alexa Bliss loves to play these mind games. Kane is in the ring. We go to commercial after the beatdown, and when we come back, Kane is in the ring waiting for his next opponent, or his opponent, waiting to see who he will have to beat to be added to the World Championship match. Kane waits for a little bit, and then Dolph Ziggler's music hits. Dolph Ziggler, as we know, went down to injury about a month ago, actually. He went down to injury. He could work through it, but I didn't want to risk him, worsening the injury and having worse performances, but he's fully healed now, so I've brought him back, and it's going to be Kane versus Dolph Ziggler. Winner goes to the Great American Bash to challenge for the WWE Championship. The match goes a long time. Kane doesn't have many more years left in him, and he is regressing in stamina, but he still has a decent stamina. So, this match goes 25 minutes. Dolph Ziggler and Kane goes 25 minutes. Both men Dolph had a performance of 81, Kane a performance of 82. Kane gives it his all, but he cannot keep up with the returning Dolph Ziggler, who is running on all fumes of adrenaline. And Dolph Ziggler hits the super kick, a zigzag, and I guess another super kick, because it says he won with a super kick. So I guess he finishes him off with the super kick and wins the match, and will go to Great American Bash to face AJ Styles and Dean Ambrose. So following the match, Dean Ambrose comes out because AJ Styles still isn't here. He's down helping his, friends at whatever hospital they're at. So Dean Ambrose comes out. He's just going to come out. He's got a mic. But before he can even say anything, Kane gets onto his feet, runs wild, starts beating the shit out of both Ziggler and Ambrose. He snags Ambrose's belt. He hits him with the belt, so he has an advantage. He's not just fucking Kane destroying both guys and keeking them out. Kane's running wild. He grabs some weapons from under the ring, continues to beat them down. He is fucking pissed. Daniel Bryan rushes down to the ring. He's trying to tell Kane, stop, Kane, stop. Kane takes one look at Daniel Bryan, big boots him right in the gut. Daniel Bryan goes down. Daniel Bryan takes a bump. This is fucking huge because Daniel Bryan's injured at this point. And this solidifies a Kane heel turn. So he's been faced this whole time. I've kind of been having him act like a dick this kind of bit because I wanted to turn Kane. Kane's turn was a complete success. He officially turns heel by kicking down his former friend, not even friend, just companion, Daniel Bryan, while he's injured to end this episode of SmackDown. 85, I didn't send the fans home happy because I felt that bit of shock value would be fun. I also forgot to. I would have sent the fans home happy again. That's one thing I'm going to start doing is like having those post-show angles because it's like I've been to one Raw, and during that Raw, it ended with a fucking heavy heat angle, and then the show just ended, and the whole room was like deflated. I'm like, why would you fucking do that? So I'm just going to have post-show angles. It'll serve zero purpose other than for roleplay. That's it for this episode of SmackDown Live. One more week until the Great American Bash, but also our next episode will be Night 8 of the Cruiserweight Classic. And let me tell you who is wrestling tonight. It is the quarterfinals. All quarterfinal matches will be happening on one episode. It is 4 matches. We will have Matt Riddle take on Zack Sabre Jr., Kota Ibushi taking on Frankie Kazarian, Bollywood Aman Samir, formerly Sanjay Dutt, taking on the Hangman Adam Page, and Evan Airborne taking on Ricochet. That is not the order of the matches that they are happening. That is just the order I have them in my bracket. So I hope to see you there. If you're not going to watch the Cruiserweight Classic because that's not your thing, I understand. But I hope to see you for Raw, SmackDown Live, or the Great American Bash.